Hi, Taylor T. Carlson here, and we're going to take a look at another Star Wars figure today. That, of course, being the galaxy's most feared bounty hunter, Boba Fett. This is the Carbonized Graphite edition of the figure. I picked this up at Brad's Toys a few months ago for about $30. We're going to do an unboxing of this, and I'll share some of my opinions with the figure. Here's the top, pretty much just plain shiny green there. There's our figure in the package, bottom with all the copyright info. The side just has his name on there. Other side, yellow color. And now we'll go ahead and crack him open. Now, like most Hasbro figures, there's just like the little legal disclaimer paper in there. The yellow backing card in the box, that's removable. Not that there's really any reason you'd ever want to do that. Here's Boba Fett on his plastic card here, so we'll get him off as accessories. Comes with a small blaster pistol. Has a larger weapon here with like the butt end of a shotgun and the front end that's more of a pistol. Kind of hard to describe this weapon. And now we'll get Boba off the card. Okay, and here he is, our fearsome bounty hunter. The first thing you'll notice, he's got this very shiny paint to him, so the figure looks very impressive all around. Sort of undermines the fact that Boba's supposed to be this figure in this really grimy, dingy, dark-looking armor that used to be his father's that had clearly seen better days, though I'm not arguing that this figure absolutely looks impressive. He also has a jetpack on the back, which is removable. This right in that hole, though he looks kind of plain back there without the jetpack, so I'm just going to leave that on. So we'll go down the figure, just take a look at the articulation, the features, and try out his weapons. Actually, since we got him here right like this, I'll go ahead and put that blaster pistol in the holster. And that fits in there perfectly. Now, one thing right from the get-go, this cloth piece here, I guess this is supposed to be like the pelt of a creature that he killed. This is just plain cloth. It's not like rubber or plastic, so it's very flimsy and very easy to get wrinkled. I really wish if that included this piece, they would have done it just as like, harder plastic or rubber, because this material really doesn't work too well there. Now, close-up of the head. His head can rotate up and down, left and right. He's got his little antenna up there, of course. Sadly, the helmet's not removable. I would like to have had that, because, since we've had the prequels and the Mandalorian now, we know what he looks like under the helmet, since he's essentially an unaltered clone of his father, Jango Fett. And then the arms are, ball joint arms, are a little stiff and hard to move. I think part of that might be because he's got these shoulder pads on his upper arms. And then, his wrists rotate. On this wrist, he's got a weapon. And then on this wrist, he's got a weapon. I know one's a grappling hook, one's a flamethrower. I kind of forget which is which. And then the wrists rotate as well. No interchangeable hands on these, disappointingly, but certainly looks impressive. And then, he's got the sort of got the torso articulation because of all the parts he's got on. His left and right movement's a little limited. There's a close-up of the chest. You can see some of the markings and everything. Got that Mandalorian crest right there. That looks pretty impressive. Then you got all his knapsacks and such down here. The holster that we just put his gun in. And we'll check out the lower body articulations. Got ball joint legs, so those move pretty well. One problem, though, is because of the position of those knapsacks, and those are pretty rigid, you can't really move his legs too far forward. I wish they'd made those maybe a little more flexible or adjustable so they could do a little more with that. They move back a decent range, but even then they're somewhat limited. The knees are articulated. And then you come down to the feet, and these can rotate left to right, up and down. And here's just a look at the back of the figure. You can see the jetpack. Disappointingly, he doesn't have missile firing action or anything like that, but pretty solid looking figure. Why don't we try out those accessories now? We just put his blaster pistol in the holster. Let's see how it looks in his hand. And these hands are pretty rigid. Hasbro also makes the Power Rangers Lightning Collection figures, so the hands are kind of similar here. They're kind of rigid and hard to move, but then once you get your weapon in there. Generally, they stay in there pretty well, which is nice. Okay. There, we got him with the blaster there. That actually looks pretty solid. And this brings me to one of my other points of contention with this figure, that being the other weapon. I mean, just take a look at this thing. The sheer shape of this, the way it looks, there's not really any good way to get him to hold this. I mean, I can try to put this in his arm here, but it's not going to come out all that impressive just because, you know, of the shape of the figure and so forth. And, you know, I've worked with this pretty heavily for like the past few hours getting ready for this review, and I mean, see, you can try putting this in from all kinds of different angles, and see right there, I tried doing it underhanded, maybe try doing it overhanded, see if we can get it in better that way. And even then, you know, it's just kind of hard to get through. I'm not even going to try to put this in anymore because that could probably take several minutes, and I don't want to bore you with this review, but honestly, as impressive as this accessory looks, I'm not happy that it's just so hard to get him to even hold it. I also did some research online, and there's a Boba Fett figure in the Black Series that doesn't have the chrome paint job like this, and that one actually has some more accessories, and on that figure, this weapon actually breaks in half to replicate when Luke Skywalker broke it with his lightsaber. Overall, it's an impressive looking figure, but not happy with the decision to use regular cloth for this piece, and then those knapsacks really restrict the leg articulation, which is disappointing. And again, I wish there was a better way for him to hold this piece, because it's a good-looking piece. Have you had a chance to pick up this figure of Boba Fett yet? Share your thoughts with me down in the comments section below. Also, remember to subscribe to my channel, because I'm always posting new videos, and give this one a like if you found it helpful or interesting. I'm Taylor T. Carlson. See you next time.